Hey, what's up, guys? This is Winter Gaming Fox channel here, and it's morning now, so I decided to record this in the morning. And today we have here is the Chinese goss filter. This is a 40mm goss filter. It was made in 2015, I believe. There's the expiration date. I'll show you right, guys, below. See, I'll show you guys. You guys may not see it. Oh, yeah, it's upside down. So the date is 9/2/15. So it was about a few years ago. Now the most important thing about filters is that if it has a 3-number date, check the very last third number to see how old is it, the year is. If it's around your date number, then you're perfectly fine. But I don't think they have. I don't think they have actually ever. I don't know if they still make these these days now. This was made in 2015, which is a surprise. Which apparently I didn't know about these filters. I didn't even know anything about gas masks back in my year, 15 years old. So that's why I didn't quite know. So until now, I realized these things are asbestos free. Just by looking at it, it's asbestos free. It's nothing chemical hazard. We know it's made in 2015. I've read this. Someone said in Reddit that these things are asbestos free because they're mainly used for particles and chemicals. So if you guys are wondering, this is what they look like in the side of it. You can see a little bit. That's just not the asbestos, that's something else. Asbestos is stored somewhere else. And I mean, there's no asbestos at all on this filter. It's completely safe. In 2006, it was made in 2015. Personally, what the seller said, this thing used to be overpriced, like extremely pricey. But since now it's outdated. We're in 2019, right? So that's about, I don't know, years. I'll give that 6-year-old. It's a 6. Yeah, no. I'm probably wrong or right. Between 6. It's between 6 years old. No. I'm doing the math. Sorry. I can't. My really head's not really on the right tick. So forget about that. It's probably a 4-year-old filter, which is probably on his last year until it expires. But we know gas mask filters don't really expire. They don't really expire. They can last long. Now, I did some researching on how to take care of a filter, and what they say is that you're supposed to keep your filter sealed up and then put it, like I would put it in a jar so I can protect the any air and oxygen hitting this filter, because once oxygen hit the filter, it's not a bad thing, but it will worn out when there's more oxygen. These things, you can seal them like this. There's a little, to seal this thing, first you have to close the lid. The most important part about it. And then still smells like garlic, actually. However, I tested it out last night for using garlic, or yesterday afternoon, and it smelled like garlic because I tested on the garlic, and apparently I think that's the one thing I think I shouldn't do. We know it works on perfectly on garlic, but I don't think we're gonna use this at all because it might ruin the filter. Strong scent, not chemical, just natural. It's a natural scent. So when you close the lid and you squeeze in the little cap in there, and then you have yourself a sealed in filter. But the problem is, it's still not going to be air filter because it's going to have that 1% filter air going to go in there. Out of 99% chance, that 1% can ruin that filter. So that's why it's best to store it in a jar once you're done using it. If you use heavy chemicals and you know it looks like it's not going to run well, then you might as well just display it or just dispose it or anything. But just like the same story with asbestos, don't throw it in the trash, because then not only there's not going to be asbestos coming out, but chlorified, or I don't know, chlorophene, I can't pronounce it right. might kick out and then get person sick. It won't kill a person, however, but it will get them sick. Chlorified and versing asbestos are totally two different. What I've heard is the risks are zero, low, very very low chance of cancer, versus high chance of cancer with using asbestos. So asbestos is probably used in these videos. If they were, I would have to use a N3 cloth, which I probably have around here. I just had it somewhere. Oh, there it is. So as you see, I cut it out. I cut out the exact same size. This is probably a Warren. It's not heavy duty, but it is light duty. Because you want the light duty cloth where it can protect it from asbestos, but you don't want it too strong where you can not take any hair. Because many people die from sealed in oxygen because they forgot to open their lids up in the filter. Now, this is a goss. If you guys are wondering, this is goss, not NATO, because sadly it's very rare to find these filters. I looked online, they don't sell these anymore. So that's how sad it is. They don't make these filters, or I think they don't, or they think they do, but they don't market on the American markets like eBay and Amazon. For some reason, it's not there anymore. Somehow, I think this seller sold me the last filter, even though it's pretty impressive. I like it's black. You can take the tape off and have your cool-looking black filter, but I'll do that later in the video, so that way I can tell. It's in Japanese, if you guys can see. Chinese. Yeah, so it's a Chinese filter. And from my conclusions or hypothesis, say that this filter is probably mainly used for civilians, because you know how the pollution is bad in their country. So if some people can't handle the pollution, they will literally buy themselves a gas mask and put the filter on. And then you do have a purpose to have a wear a mask, because your body can't handle the pollution in China. But I don't blame them. And see, that's why that's their country, man. That they're having a lot of problems. But anyways, this is a Chinese filter. And here we got is a gp5 gas mask, which the gp5 gas mask is totally not a rare thing. You can buy these online at Amazon. They're like $6 to $20 because of the sizing and everything. The man sells it for a ridiculous price. But when you do buy this medium size, he'll give you a nozzle and a filter, which I highly recommend not to use, because the filters in there are really not safe to wear. Perhaps it's probably not the best thing to use to actually just cleaning the nozzle out that way, because the nozzle is full of cloth. I got worried it was contained asbestos until thankfully someone said in Reddit this filter is safe. However, they said this filter is very rare to find and buy. So I'm probably gonna use it a couple of times, and then I'm gonna display it on my shelf, and then there we go. Here you go, guys. This is my first gas mask filter of my video. So if I ever continue making this video more, I'll look back in the future and the past. Actually, not in the future, but look in the past and say, look how much stuff I've done with videos. But this is going to be my memory. My first gas mask filter of my gas mask video. So you seal it in. It fits on really good. Some people were curious to say that these filters they fit, but then they not create anti-seal. They do create anti-seal, however. They are. The one thing is that it's a little bit heavier, but again, I can deal with the fact that it's protective, so I don't care how heavy it feels, as long as it's protecting me from stuff like that. So I'm going to put on the mask and show you guys what it looks like, and then we're going to take this test to the restroom. I'm going to record. I'm going to use natural items, like natural, not chemical, like deodorant, spray, or Axe. Maybe Axe, we will do that, but that will be towards the end. And we're going to see for sure if the filter is completely safe, or is it just not the right filter to use. I mean, not the right filter to use in it. Now, for the most people been not telling apart is, gas mask filters don't protect you from nuclear radiation. It's depending on what filter you buy. If you buy an NBC filter, then that's something that you then that's something you could protect you from. But how many doses of that? How many doses of that chemical that contains? That's why those multi chemical purpose has so many chemicals, but they're all medium portions. So if something like a gas, like a tear gas comes, then your filter only has medium amount of filter protect you from the tear gas. Which gas masks are mainly there to protect you from what's out there and hitting your face, and they're most likely supposed to get you out of the situation. But again, sometimes if you're living in a style where you have to wear a gas mask your entire life, then I would recommend the gp5 unless you need something cheap. Then yes, the gp5 would be recommendable. But there is other gas masks out there that you can use, probably the S10 or the M50, the American made, which is the one we have in the United States. It's quite cheaper to buy here because I'm in the United States territory, so I could buy it and then don't charge shipping, because for God's sake, I'm like a few miles away from a military base. Actually, not even kidding. And all I can hear is jets flying over, so that's another shown. I could buy an M50 filter, which the seller is... what they said, the seller might be selling you stuff for the military, but they're quite legal. I don't know. That's all I can know from him, but let's put on the filter on to show you guys what it looks like with the filter on. It looks pretty cool, just I need to take the tape off and then it looks pretty cool. If I had a black gp5, this will go good right now, but I got the white one because I want to look original and classic.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but you probably can't. I gotta take the mask off the tape.
Ah! Eesh. I need to get a haircut, man. Okay, so it works perfectly. Breathing difficulties is pretty good. I can breathe pretty well. Just gotta take big puffs, not small puffs. When you inhale, you can't inhale the gas mask filter really quick because then that might damage it real quick. But what they said in Google said you have to breathe how to breathe gas masks is you normally how to breathe. But that's probably not true because this is civilian gas mask. You can breathe how you want to breathe, but the military ones are quite advanced. It depends how much puff and you breathe in it. So that's probably why that's the one thing I looked up information about gas mask is that you can't normally breathe like normal as a regular gas mask. It will work, but then if you really want it to work 100% good and not gonna damage, you have to follow the way how the military breathes their gas mask. But this is a 1960 manual thing, so it's outdated, so that's why I would have recommended not going through those. So the filter, it works pretty good. It's screw on. It's a 40 Gus, and you know how the nozzle is pretty short. All versus the NATO nozzle, it probably won't fit in real. People, what I saw in the video some other day when I was looking up GP5 videos is that you can take the little black thing off, like fully take it out, and then your 40 NATO filter can fit in. But I won't do that until I'm 100% sure I can't find any more Gus filters, which there is. The FP5 filter is still on the market today, selling through UK. Sadly, the shipping is over a ridiculous price. I'm spending about $30 or $40 for a filter, which that's pretty much, no, I wouldn't go for that. If I want to get that filter one of these days, I have to travel to that country to get one. Not to get one, but just to see what it's like in the UK. Okay, so here goes. Now we're gonna have the gas mask test. Let's still show. I have everything set up in the restroom so we can start right now. So let's pause. Okay, guys, in the restroom so we can start recording until we're gonna test the filter out. So take the lid out. And apparently, I'm afraid to test it on like perfume and all that stuff because that's highly chemical. And what I've seen from other videos how filter works, they highly recommend not to test it on like Febreze and stuff. I will test it on Axe, but then that will be insane as this filter will jam eventually pretty soon and it's not going to be useful. So we're going to test this out. So we're going to use natural stuff, like natural ingredients. So this is like peppercini, the vinegar. Oh crap, I just spilled something a little bit. Fuck. Ooh, okay, that's strong. Okay. So we're going to link the weakest to the strongest. The weakest is probably going to be that. The medium is probably good between the buffalo sauce, which I had to pick random stuff out. I try to look in the kitchen for stuff that would smell real bad, but they don't really. Oh. Yeah, it's a buffalo sauce. And then the strongest is this. I didn't even have to open a bottle to. Oh. Oh, okay, this is apple cider vinegar. This one has that because the apples probably expire, but still useful. This is probably the old-fashioned one. It's still they still make these today, but I think they only sell them in Texas. Yeah, it's USA organic. It's I think it believes in when made in Texas. That's another thing we have. You can get yourself that too, but I highly recommend not to use any Febreze. Axe, I don't know what they say about Axe, but they said just Febreze. Perfume, they said a little bit about perfume, but they never say anything about men's cologne, but that's why. So I'm gonna put the mask on and we're gonna test out the filters. You probably can't hear me with this gas mask on, so I'm gonna try them all and then I'm gonna tell you guys in the other room what's the feedback of this filter, if it's good or is it just. It's good, but then it's like there's some stuff that have downsides. There's a little bent in my little screw-in thing, actually, if you can guys see it. Hold on, there we go. See how it's look like it's bent a little? So I don't know if I should be worried about that. If it's a fail, then I'll have to get the pliers and fix that. Okay. Now, my head's gonna hurt a little, so I have to do this. Actually, hold on. I need to pause it for a second. Okay, I wet my hair a little bit so I can easily fit in like a glove because my hair is super dry. I did get a haircut last time when I first put this on, but it's really painful to put this on because my hair is really long and I hope it's probably not compatible. Okay.
Okay guys, if it's really good, I can probably try to speak a little louder. So we're going to test the filter out. Okay, first off, we're going to start with this. We're going to start with the smell. Okay guys, it works pretty good. I don't want to say it's not leaking at all, so I can give you that for example. Now for the serpentine. So it works pretty good. Now the last one is this one really stinks. So I can't put it close to my filter because it might ruin it, because then it's going to smell like voodoo and stuff like that. So I'm going to test it out and see how it works. So far, no scent. I can't smell any of these. Oh, for all these 3 items I picked up, I can't smell them at all, so that means the filter is working perfectly. So yeah, the filter works perfectly. Now for the last test. This one is a lot different. We're going to test it out and see what it does. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can smell that. Oh my god. Yeah, I smell it. So the filter works. So I'm gonna talk about this more when you just get in the other room. So hold on, let me just. Okay, guys, as you see, I tested out the filter. It's perfectly fine. It works 100% good. If you ever do see these back on market, these are worth it to buy. They're cheap and the shipping may be a little bit pricey, but I give it. You know, I can't really rate this filter. This is my first one, so I can't really rate it until I've really got to. This is probably the best filter that I've actually used. This is my first time using a filter, so I can't say there's many filters out there that have multi-purpose chemical. Okay, so I don't smell anything here. Ooh, yeah. It smells like a little bit like rotten garlic in there. So from that being said, it works perfectly, but I'm worried that the scent might kill it. So this filter works perfectly fine. There is no asbestos, like I said too many times. So I highly recommend. I recommend you guys wanted to use this. If you guys looking for a gp5 filter, this one is looks like a remake of the gp5, but it has no asbestos because it's made 2015, and I looked up and read it, and it has no asbestos in it. But the seller is very rare to be seen selling these. He actually sell these in his country, not in the United States, so that's why it's probably hard to buy these. Yeah, if I can see, you guys see in there. Hold on, focus camera there yet. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It has a perfectly good protection here, so you perfectly fine to protect, and pretty much you have yourself a bunch of ideas how to start off with the filter. So you screw it on, then you put the mask on, and then there you go. So that's why you can easily. Now, there's more filters out there, but they're very rare to buy or seen to buy. Someone said they were selling the EO15, the made in 2010 filter, but very rare to be seen on markets. Which they're selling it today, but you have to go random websites to look really where the filter is at. So I'm gonna seal this up. So I'm gonna show you guys again how to seal it up. If you ever buy one of these are more like not complicated, but this is its little pattern. You get the filter lid and you close it up. You tighten it up, and then you put the little capling inside of there. You gotta put it real good. You can't just put it there and then you're like, yeah, it's in there. You gotta make sure it's in there really good. And squeeze it up a little bit in the edges, and then it's sealed in. Now the best way you want to store this is probably in a jar with the lid on it, so no air can go through it, and that way it's anti-air. I mean, a jar may contain some types of air, but if you vacuumize it, it will be hard time. If you have a hard time opening it, that's probably a good thing that you want for these filters. So maybe I will test the Russian filter out, but I'm gonna do it with using a cloth so I can protect myself from asbestos. And if I can see asbestos get in there, and if for somehow reasons I held tiny bits of it, then that's a sign I need to double cloth it. It will fit. However, I size it up and then I put it in there, and it fits perfectly fine actually in there. So you can protect yourself from asbestos. So if you guys are wondering how to protect yourself from asbestos, which I highly recommend not to do, but if for some reason you have to, get any cloth, like cloth that you use on bandages and stuff like that. Size the nozzle, cut it out, and you have yourself a foolproof, protective. Now, I've seen people on YouTube how to make your own gas mask filter, but in my opinion, no offense, it's not really worth it to make your own gas mask filter, because that's all you have is active charcoal. And the one thing is, when I saw that video, a reason why it didn't work, because making yourself a homemade filter gas mask is the hard part, because you got to make sure it's anti-seal, and then the second part is that you have to have a perfect filter. Would they make their own filters? But the dumb part is that the filters don't work on them because it's only contain active charcoal. But another thing is that the between your homemade filter and a real filter, this is guaranteed you to save your life one of these days, versus you're creating something that might kill you someday. Because when there's a tear gas, or if there's a nuclear something happen, and you just happen to make a dumb idea to make your own gas mask, it's not going to protect you, because the active charcoal will protect the stuff out there. But then if it's nuclear, then you're screwed, because the filter you made is not NBC, so that's why you not have an NBC mask. Now I will be looking into buying NBC masks like the Israeli, but then the rest of the filter, the rest of the gas mask, for at this point, I won't be able to buy because they're expensive, and I have to wait later on the year to see if I can get one of those. The gas mask I will definitely look into buy is the PMG, because from Weapon and Stuff video made, he actually put a 40 millimeter NATO filter inside a PMG gas mask, the Soviet PMG, and it works. It screws on good, and it actually works. So that's the one thing I might point out to. That's another gas mask filter that you could actually use a 40 NATO millimeter. But one of these days I'll make a video about it. Just I don't have the PMG on my hands right now. Just need to buy it. So put a thumbs up, subscribe my channel, and smash that notification box. And see you guys later. And check out the rest of my videos, and put your comments and opinions and everything below what you guys think about this video. Now, I test the gas mask out with non-chemical stuff. I'm using organic and natural stuff that you buy in groceries, so it's going to be like that for my all gas mask video, but personally it works perfectly fine. And the question is, if anyone asks, does the gp5 work even though it's made in 1960 or 1970, which mine's made in 1974? Yes, it does work, to answer your question, just by watching the video in the middle. So catch you guys later.